Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome to this topic of UID. UID stand for user identification. Okay, so let's look at this particular file, the password file, and in the password file there is an entry for username. There is an entry for user ID. So for human we require a username, but as far as the file system is concerned, the software is concerned, it will use this. So most of the operations require UID to work with. So that is, so UID actually identifies the user to the system. Okay, as discussed, the UIDs are used mainly by the file systems, the softwares, and the login names are provided for the convenience of users. Okay, so let's look at the password file again. Okay, let's look at the initial few lines using head command. If you look at it, let's look at root as well. Okay, take a look at this entry. This value is 0. Okay, so the user ID is 0 for root. Okay, take a look at some other user IDs like bin. The user ID for bin is 1. If you look at daemon, it is 2. So it's customary to put these fake logins at the beginning of the password file to give them low UIDs and a fake shell. And if you look at the shell for them, this is your uh, bin user which has a shell, daemon users which has a. So take a look at this shell called false. This is one shell which is false. Okay, the false shell, what it does is that it prevents from people to logging in as those users. Okay, so this is about the UID. So why UID? Because this is how the software administration or software management or file system recognizes the users. So they recognize by user ID. But for human purpose, there is a mapping called user name. Okay, so this, you can see that this is your user ID, username, and this is your user ID. It's a numeric number, and this has to be unique in the system. For root, the user ID, the UID is 1. Okay, and let's look at some other. Let's start with this file. Okay, so if you look at some other users, like take the value for nobody. Okay, see the value for root 0. See the value for daemon 2 1, and you can see that for security purpose these files, these users, they have slash bin as slash false as the shell, which means nobody can log in with that ID. Okay, that is kind of a security measure to prevent people from logging in. Okay, so that is pretty much I wanted to cover in the topic UID. Thanks for joining and have a nice day. Bye bye.